Hey Central, I hope everything is doing good. Catchy title, right? It came from a book that I'm reading right now called Hope Lies Ahead. Just a cool book about relating to the parable of the prodigal son and a family that's just been through, a struggle of what a parent thinks versus what a kid thinks, and tying it into the biblical application that Jesus taught. But one of the chapters of the title was the exact title that you received in the text that we sent out, and it says, "Don't preach the gospel to someone with slit wrists." What an edgy title. What does that mean? Does that mean that we shouldn't be preaching the gospel to people that are hurting or people that are struggling? No, the gospel is so important. But I think what they're trying to convey here in this devotion is that there are times that people are hurting, and there are times that people have things going in their life, and yet they may have heard the gospel from you. They may have heard some Bible verse, but that's not what they need. They might just need you. They might need to see something in your life that's different, and that's what's going to resonate with them during their struggle, whatever their need is. And I thought that was really important to share with you guys, because so many of you maybe live at home with unsaved parents. Your mother or father don't know Christ, and you've tried to talk to them before. You shared something you learned at Central. You shared a Bible verse with them. You told them, "Mom, I want you to go to heaven. I don't want you to go to hell," and it hasn't really resonated with them. You have to view them as someone that's desperate in need. Not to the point of suicidal, which this title kind of plays off that theme. But the reality is, there's a need in their life, and it maybe they need to see something in your life instead of just hear what you're saying. For this quarantine period, besides the time that you were a baby, this might be the time in your life you spent the most time with your parents. What are they seeing in your life? Not hearing, what are they seeing? Are they seeing a child that is pursuing Christ? What would your parents do if they woke up and they came out and you were sitting there having a hot cup of coffee, reading the Bible and doing a devotion? That would speak magnitudes over anything that you could say to them. What happens if you just became so respectful at home and just so different that they begin to see Jesus in your life? That could transform your parents' relationship. And it reminded me of this verse in Matthew chapter 5 when Jesus talked about the salt and the light. It starts really in verse 13. It goes to verses 13 and 16. But I just want to read verse 16. It says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Again, this whole passage in Matthew 5 is talking about salt and light, that people can see Christ in you. Again, we're not saying that, the gospel goes void. In other words, when you share Christ, it's not going to make a difference. But there's times that people are really hurting and people need Jesus and they need to see it in you. And Jesus was very clear. He talked about it. Let your light shine before others, that they can see your good deeds and glorify your Father. They can see that I'm real in you. So I just want to encourage you guys, as you're home with your parents, spending more time maybe than ever, that, and you're like, "Dustin, I haven't gotten anywhere with them. I've told them about Jesus all the time. I've told them about salvation. I've told them John 3:16, Ephesians 2:8-9. I've told them how to get to heaven." And they don't seem to be listening. Well, sometimes when people are hurting, that they need to see God in you as opposed to just hear what you keep repeating. So what does your life look like? What are your parents seeing in you? Are they seeing Christ in you? Because that may be the one thing that they need to validate what you're saying is true, that you really believe what you're saying is true. So yeah, an edgy title, don't preach the gospel to someone with slit wrists. Again, we're not saying that preaching the word of God is not important. It is. It's the most essential thing in the world. But sometimes people have difficulty listening. There's so much sin in their life. There's so much hardness. There's so much pain. There's so much hurt that they need to see something different. So guys, take advantage of the shelter-in period. I know you're bored. I know you're stir crazy. You can't wait to get out there. But use this for a time that your unsaved mom and dad could look at you and see that there's something different. That might be the strongest, most clear gospel that you ever preach to them in your life, is the way that you're living. Guys, we miss you. Look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.